called to the
Is
cloud.
Vishnu Priya co-host?
Yes.
Okay, Vishnu Priya, if you could handle the muting, if there's any background noise, that'd be great.
Sure.
Okay, we'll start. Vanchakalpaturvischa, Kripasinduevacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo, Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Om Gyan Tirmandasya Gyanjana Salakaya Chakshur Militamina Tashmai Shri Guru Namaha. Trinada Pisunichina Tarora Pisahishnuna Amanina Manadina Kitni Sadahari Tate Dukampam Susamik Shamano Bunjana Ivatma Kritam Vipakam Hidvakta Pupi Vidam Namaste Vitayo Mukti Padesat Dayabak Anya Balasta Sunyam Gyan Kamadhyana Vritam Anukalinya Krishna Shilanam Bhakti Uttama Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadata Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Welcome, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. We have, I know someone from California, Manini, fantastic, and from Houston, not from Houston, sorry, from Texas. Oh no, are you still in Texas, Maharaj? Yeah, Texas, Bhagavat Maharaj. We have people from the UK, from the continent. Beautiful to see you all, my godmothers and fathers, cousins, sons, daughters, brothers and sisters. We've been away for 4 weeks. So I think the whole team here is sort of burning to get going again. We're really excited about the this next installment of Holistic Bhakti. It's so beautiful that we're back. And just as a reminder, I just thought I'd remind everybody of why we're doing Holistic Bhakti. It's really for 2 reasons. One is when older Vaishnavas give advice or tell stories of how they've evolved in their bhakti to younger Vaishnavas, it's very nourishing for the older Vaishnavas actually, and it's also very helpful for the younger Vaishnavas. So it's really beautiful that we've able to come together and there's this swapping of there's giving, passing on of knowledge, of experience, of realization, of, you know, the seniors don't mind explaining where they fell off the horse, as it were, but they always got back on. So one element is seniors really helping juniors and being nourished in that process. That's one element. And the other element is about, you know, we listen to a lot of Shastra, a lot of Leela, a lot of Siddhanta, a lot of Tattva, and this is essential. But at the same time, we need to understand how to apply our bhakti to everyday life, practical situations, and how our practical situations can inform our bhakti, so that our bhakti is alive. It's not just something we do when we chant. It's not just something we do when we're at the temple listening to Siddhanta and a great Maharaj. It's something that we're aware of and that we're conscious of, and we're living and breathing every day, all day, in a magical way, so that every day is actually ever fresh. A friend of mine, we were just walking up the high street just now, and he said that Gaur Govinda Maharaj said that a devotee is by nature effervescent, and we're effervescent because we're alive, and we're alive because when we're practicing our bhakti, and practicing bhakti means practicing the practices, but it also means living it, breathing it during every day, every waking moment. As I like to say, every second in the 86,400 seconds of every day. Every day has 86,400 seconds of precious time for us to use in our relationship with the Lord. I want to thank everybody who has helped and continues to help in this venture, in this seva. Tarun Krishna and Vishnu Priya are fantastic sevaks, helped put the whole event on. I just noticed Hari Krishna Das has just joined us. He was very much the part of the creative bubble and gave some really great structure in the formulation of this concept and has rendered some beautiful seva. We have a wonderful panel. Shriman Budara Prabhu, Shriman Brajanath Prabhu will be actually talking tonight. Shriman Madhuvrat Prabhu, Shriman Raghava Pandit. Oh, I'm sorry, forgive me, I got the order wrong. I should have said Shripad Bhaktivedanta Bhagwat Maharaj first, so forgive me for getting the order wrong. But a beautiful panel of senior devotees giving beautiful experiences during these classes. And before I introduce the speakers tonight, because we're having a double speaking, I just want to give everybody a warning. The warning is a weather warning. Tomorrow, there is a forecast of a great volcanic explosion. And the volcanic explosion is all around the world. And he is called Nityananda Prabhu. And my invitation.
Jai Nityananda.
Jai Nityananda.
Jai Nityananda.
Jai Nityananda. My invitation to everybody is make sure you're seated on top of that volcano, because that volcano is going to blast you all the way to Goloka Vrindavan. And we have an extraordinary program tomorrow, starting 5 p.m. UK time. It's going to go all the way to the 11 o'clock. We have some illustrious, wonderful speakers. We have Shripad Bhaktivedanta Bhagwat Maharaj, and Ashram Maharaj, Srimati Shamrani Didi, Avadhuti Maharaj, Shanti Maharaj, Nemi Maharaj, and bringing up very much the 11th man batsman. I'm going to say a few words at the end. If you can last that long, and if you want to hear me speak. So it's going to be an amazing 6-hour program of volcanic Nityananda energy, of mercy and grace. So I invite everybody to join us tomorrow. I think it's already posted in the Holistic Bhakti room, so you should all be aware of the Zoom details. So we're now ready to introduce our speakers. So our speakers are two today. I'll be handing over to Dilip Prabhu in a minute. Our two speakers are Shriman Brajanath Prabhu and Dilip Prabhu. And I'll just give them both a little nice introduction. Hopefully won't embarrass them too much with too much praise, but it's hard to hold myself back, frankly. I'm looking at Brajanath right now, his beautiful face. I've known Brajanath since 1996. Brajanath, of course, he will never say he's responsible for anything in terms of bringing Gurudev to the West. But, you know, we all know that all savers by Gurudev's mercy, but at the same time, it's important to honor one another's beautiful savor. And Brajanath, he was one of the pioneers who not only came to Gurudev from ISKCON, which in itself is quite a difficult thing to do, especially before 1996, and must have taken a lot of courage. But he and his beautiful wife, Srimati Vrinda Didi, who's an incredible woman, they both put their life on the line. They gave everything in order to bring Gurudev to the West. Hey, Vrinda, Haribol, I missed you. To bring Gurudev to the West. And, you know, both of them actually, I mean, both of them really, so I'm now introducing both of you, but it's only Brajanath actually speaking, but both Brajanath and Vrinda, you can't really mention one without the other. We owe them so much for having rendered such incredible service, such difficult service, actually. Can you imagine coming to Gurudev when there were maybe 5, 10, 15 Westerners around Gurudev? I don't know, by 2005, there's probably like 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 Westerners around Gurudev. It must have been, I don't know how you managed. I don't know how you managed just your state of mind, the amount of different issues you had to deal with. One thing I've always had great respect and regard for, and hopefully one day I can emulate with Brajanath, is his Guru Nishtha. He has absolute Guru Nishtha. And so therefore I'm always watching what he's doing because he's worth following with that Guru Nishtha. So I'm very grateful to you, Brajanath, for leading, for bringing Gurudev helping to bring Gurudev to the West, for being my friend. We've gone through lots of things together and we're still friends, and I'm very grateful. I'm very honored actually that you are my friend, and I'm very happy you're speaking tonight. I'll briefly mention the subject in a minute, but I don't want to steal any of your thunder, so I'll say very little about the subject matter, leave everybody in a bit of suspense. And Dilip Prabhu, I've known since before I was a devotee. He had the great misfortune of having me as a student, as a personal development coach before I became a devotee. Yes, I think a number of adjectives could have been used to describe me then, but he handled me very well. and we've been we've been friends for 25 years. Dilip did some fantastic seva for Gurudev Sangha, helping us with communications, helping us create more harmony. He's an outstanding coach, an outstanding personal development expert to large and small corporations, helping build harmony and understanding between teams and people. He's got a beautiful heart, and he's been a devotee for many years now. So and he's working closely with Brajanath. So I'm going to hand over to him in a second, who will introduce and start the whole conversation off. But the general topic is harmony, and we touch on the matter of Guru. But I'm not going to go into it any further than that, other than say, stay peeled to your screens. Don't be distracted. You're going to hear an absolute wealth of beautiful nectar and knowledge tonight. And we're going to have wonderful Q&A. And then after that, I'm going to hand over the emceeing to Tarun Krishna and Vishnu Priya. And have a beautiful evening, everybody. It's going to be a blast. And don't forget to be on the volcano tomorrow, Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day, 5 UK time. Hare Krishna and Dhanavat Pranams.
Thank you so much. Should I go, Tarun? Okay.
I just want to say very quickly before we hand over to you, Dilip Prabhu, we're going to be taking questions for later on in the session. If you look at the chat box, there's a link with a place where you can submit questions. Yeah, you can follow the instructions there. Okay, over to you, Dilip.
Thank you so much, Tarun Prabhu. Thank you, Shodanda Prabhu. It's great to be here. I'll be speaking very, very briefly, and I'm going to hand over to Brajanath in a moment to talk about harmony. And I'd like you to please think about the idea of harmony in your life. So please take a look at harmony in terms of your relationship with yourself, harmony in terms of your relationship with others, and harmony in relationship with Krishna. And if Krishna is not your God, and you're here to develop your spiritual life, it may be just in the sense of developing a spiritual life. So please, as Brajanath was speaking, I want to make this really practical, to consider, where is there harmony in my life with myself, or disharmony with other people? Could be friends, colleagues, family, and with my spiritual life. So I'm going to hand over to you, Prabhu. I can't see you because I got a phone here, so I know you're there, Brajanath Prabhu. I'm so excited, so honored, so happy to be here with everybody. And I'm really, really looking forward tonight. It means everything to me. This is what I work for and live for. So I'm looking forward to exploring the idea of harmony and how that can change our hearts and deepen our bhakti and contemplate higher ideals. Prabhu, over to you, Brajanath.
Thank you, Dilip Prabhu and Yashoda Prabhu, and all the great souls who have taken the initiative to make this opportunity available to associate with each other. It is like an unexpected, I can only say it is a dream come true, that we can all be here together. And in the beginning, it was a little like treading water. And what is it exactly like to communicate with these Zoom tools or the technology? But we've become more and more happy by Gurudev's mercy to be with each other on Zoom today. So I want to give a special thanks to all the team members, and special dhanavats to the great souls amongst us, the Prabhupada disciples, the sannyasis, headed by our Pujapad Nimi Maharaj. Is Nimi Maharaj there today?
He said on Facebook that he would be coming on, but he might not be on yet.
I heard he is coming on, But definitely,
I think he's coming.
Al Pujapad Bhagavat Maharaj and Pujapad Budar Prabhu, all of you, I can't see all your pictures, but I'm really thrilled to be with all of you, and I hope you can catch something of what I'm going to present tonight. I am usually a little cryptic, yeah, in my expressions, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best to stick with a particular point. There is a lot to say about harmony, but I will do my best with the blessings of all of you and your well wishes, and especially the blessings of our Guru Parampara and especially our beloved Gurudev, and in particular Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhu. But I can just say that I revere all our Guru Parampara, yeah, as being extremely kind and benevolent and merciful to me and to all of us. So I pray for their mercy. I'll just chant one or two prayers and then we let's get loose. Yeah, we are in Germany, so we will start. Yeah. Agyanati mirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Guru Dinatarine Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Naham Bande Tavacharana Yardvandva Madvandva Hetu Kumbhipakam Gurum Api Harinarakam Napanetum Ramya Rama Mardutanulatandane Navirashtum Bhave Bhave Hridaya Bhavane Bhavayeyam Bhavantam Vancha kalpa tarupyascha kripa sindhu bhaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. It's a great honor. Today I was hoping that I could share some things with all of you. It is my heart's desire. Really, I am not in any way, trying to hide this. I'm really pleased and very happy to be with all of you. And I want to share a few very precious things. And somehow or other, we are invited to connect with harmony. What is harmony? I want to share it from my own perspective, yeah, and I'll try to revert to the scriptures and to the saintly persons, but I want to share from my own perspective and my own experience also. Yeah. And any questions, I will be so happy to interact and to create a nice, very beautiful, what is that? Dialogue and yeah, very enlivening. Yeah, harmony means life. Yeah, happiness. But before we start there, I want to be very clear that why should we strive for harmony? What is harmony? And how can we attain harmony? Yeah. The most important, what I have learned in life is the why question. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Yeah. Why do I want harmony? And what is harmony? How can I describe in my own words what harmony means and how to obtain it? So I'll start first with the why. And then we come at once. I'm a lucky soul. I can definitely share that with you. That Sri Guru is the origin of all that is valuable or worthwhile or connecting us with that which we call spiritual eternal happiness, where harmony is like a symphony which is indescribable, yeah, where everyone is tuned in, and it is an amazing experience which we've already heard is simply thrown at us here in this material realm. And the main one, the most expert and most kind personality who is donating, not donating, who is simply over flooding us with that concept of harmony, which embodies, again, the most beautiful principles of love, the most beautiful principle of happiness, yeah. Being alive, feeling that this is who I am, yeah, completely situated in my being. That is harmony. Who is bringing that? Tomorrow, yeah, we have the good fortune that is our, yeah, Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. He just is the embodiment of Ananda. And what to speak, that Ananda is so amazing that everyone becomes connected with that. When Nityananda Prabhu appeared on this planet, tomorrow we will hear it, the whole universe became filled with Ananda, and nobody understood why I'm feeling so happy today. Yeah, it's a sign that we are connecting with true harmony. Why I again say that in harmony there is unity, there is life, there is especially happiness and love and trust, love and affection. Now, saying this, that I honor especially Sri Nityananda Prabhu for bringing us this greatest gift. Yeah. And it can be experienced right now if we want. Yeah, we can look at the past and we can look in the future. And most of our conversations are about the past and the future. Yeah. And there is a saying that the past is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. Yeah. If we cannot live in the present, then we are, I would say, yeah, bereft of that area which is the most important in harmony. Yeah. So now I'll start. Hearing such beautiful, amazing, yeah, philosophical presentations, leelas, everything that, and wanting to share that with others is a great opportunity. But little or no happiness will come for it unless, yeah, I myself am in complete harmony with myself. Yeah, I can tell you from my personal experience, after practicing and also trying to understand what is real happiness, yeah, in this life for about 36 years, I think, 12 years in the institution of Srila Prabhupada, I met my eternal spiritual master, friend, who always said, I don't know how I can describe this amazing personality, my Gurudev. I met him for the first time face to face, and he engaged me in a beautiful exchange. He asked a question and I gave the answer, and then he, yeah, he, what is it? He brought like the greatest gift that I, up till this day, I still cherish as my greatest, yeah, inspiration in life. So what happened? We met Srila Gurudev, Vrinda and myself in a small setting in Vrindavan, in Rupstanath and Gaudiya Math. And there we were introduced to Srila Gurudev, and at once in the small room that we were entering, there were maybe 4 or 5 devotees. the atmosphere was amazing. Yeah, it was as if entering a place where I never had access to, but sitting down and offering obeisances, and a lot of beautiful things happened before we were sitting down. I can share it, but I think I have little time, and I want to really connect with you guys. And beautiful Vaishnavis also, aspiring Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, I want to connect with you about the essence of today's topic. So Gurudev asked me the question after we sat down, who are you and what are you doing? And of course, I was in my, internal kind of strive thinking, well, I can just repeat what Sanatan Goswami Pat said when he met Mahaprabhu. I don't know who I am, yeah, but I said, let me just be like who I really am, a conditioned soul. So I spoke and I shared with Srila Gurudev, I am born in Holland and this is what we are doing. We are in the mission of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. We are doing Namhata, Harinam, Sankirtan, Food for Life, book distribution, and whatever else is there, book printing, BVT, so many things. And then Gurudev looked at me with that amazing glance in his eyes and a smile. And then he said to me, and I think it was Vrinda, he said to me, but it really touched my heart like an arrow. And he said, first you become Krishna conscious, and then you help others. Yeah. So this principle has always followed me throughout my ongoing journey after that. And I felt always guided by Srila Gurudev, being in his physical presence for many, many years. I think I felt like I was extremely fortunate, and I also needed that, yeah, because the conditioning of my soul is severe. I am definitely conditioned soul. So I was very fortunate to be with Srila Gurudev. He invited me to be with him for forever. So that was for me a no-brainer, but still, by his mercy, I wanted also to be in a space that I can please him and serve him. And not only that, serve the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srila Prabhupada. So when Gurudev said that, now on retrospect, when I think about it in today's setting that we are with each other tonight, the topic of harmony is really something that really, really fascinates me. And I never thought so much about it as that it would come, yeah, in such a beautiful setting tonight. But what does harmony really means? It means to be Krishna conscious. Yeah. What does Krishna consciousness means? It means to be, Srila Prabhupada said, happy. Yeah. If I'm not happy, I'm not in a good space, then what is the use of me practicing Krishna consciousness? Gurudev said, if you're not happy, then something is wrong. You must adjust and see where is the area that needs attention. So now, having the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and Srila Gurudev, and especially I feel extremely fortunate to be in the association of my good friend, not only friend, but also uncle, and he's like my protector and my very dear associate in this life, that is our Pujapad Budar Prabhu. We were exploring the concept of how we can make a little contribution for the improvement of not only the world, but especially my desire is to improve the well-being of the family of devotees. So here comes now the topic of harmony in my words today, that harmony starts with myself. Yeah. If I am not in harmony with myself, then I will very easily, create a nuisance for everybody else around me. Yeah. Whereas if I'm in harmony with myself, I feel that I am completely situated in my being, in where I am, where I belong. And in the truest sense, that means in the conceptions of spiritual life, it means that I accept myself. I value myself. I respect myself, yeah, for who I really am. And there are many beautiful definitions of who I am, but in essence, it is I am not.
Sorry, Brajanath,
Yeah.
we're just having a few requests. Sorry, Brajanath, we're having a few requests to speak louder. Some people are finding it hard to hear you. Just
Okay,
a bit
good.
louder, thank you.
Maybe I move my hands and I cover the mic. Okay, louder. Is this loud enough? Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. So now the real experience of harmony starts with myself. And this is exponentially, yeah, or this automatically transfers to the environment. Yeah. If I want to be in harmony with others and I am not in harmony with myself, then it's not going to work. Yeah. I need to feel good about myself. I need to respect myself, accept myself for who I am. And of course, that in essence is the key to success. I believe that we can all agree about that. If you're a happy person, you connect with who you really are, then you find out I am spirit soul and I'm in a foreign territory. I am in this land which is made of matter. It is temporary. And what is my purpose here? To contribute something from my inner being, from who I really am. And that inner being, again, starts with I am soul. Yeah, I am not only soul, I am part and parcel of Supreme Soul, Sri Krishna. And not only that, I have been blessed in this life to meet the manifestation of that Supreme Soul's mercy, that is Sri Guru. And that Sri Guru is the life of my life. Yeah, he has accepted me and he has never judged me. He has never faulted me for the things that I do wrong. Yeah. Rather, he has simply nourished me and blessed me constantly throughout my being, yeah, in his presence and continuing, yeah, on to this moment, yeah, with his mercy and his kindness and his encouragement and his nourishment. Yeah. So how that harmony within myself, yeah, is gonna be experienced, I want to share that with you. Do I have a few more minutes, Tarun Prabhu?
You have like 5 more minutes.
Okay. So that harmony within myself, that Krishna consciousness that I want to experience, that happiness that comes, and I can definitely say that it's a beautiful journey, and in no way I am an advanced practitioner or whatever, but I feel definitely that by my application of the things that I have received, I have definitely, yeah, experienced and am experiencing a beautiful satisfaction within myself. It is still a long way to go to whatever, yeah, level of advanced Krishna consciousness is available, but I can definitely say that giving time to respect myself, giving time, attention to connect with Sri Guru, giving time to connect and relish, yeah, the beautiful service that is to chant the holy names, yeah. Connect and relish the other beautiful service that is hearing and chanting the scriptures and being with each other and supporting each other in our growth on our journey, yeah, to move forward towards our final ultimate goal, that is pure love, prema pumar tamahan, for the Supreme Lord. Yeah. That is an absolute necessity to make time and to give it my full dedication. And I noticed that since I started to ponder how it is going to work, yeah, how am I going to be properly situated in harmony with myself? And we can call that bhajan, yeah, which is the most beautiful thing that we have received. And that is definitely the gift that our beloved Gurudev wants to give to everyone, yeah, that we can practice, I can practice in this life, yeah, some beautiful prayers every morning and some beautiful connection with Harinam, some beautiful connection with Sri Guru, not only my Gurudev, but the whole disciplic succession. Pray to them, accept them in my heart, yeah, and read their books, and especially, feel that they are mine. They have accepted me, and I am so lucky that by their mercy, every day I can, in a very small way, render some service to them by bringing a little extra help and support to those who live with me and those who I can connect with in my environment, and that is my family members. Cultivating that harmony, that happiness which I experience within is, I find, the most beautiful thing in life, and that is what I'm really so thankful for, that tonight we have the opportunity to enter in this topic of harmony. And there is many more things to discuss, and I can give you the good news that about Dilip and myself, and I have a beautiful team also. I'm a member of the team that is Buddha Prabhu, Lalita, Vrinda, and Anuragini. They are supporting this whole beautiful development, that we can find ways how to connect with each other and support each other to develop and cultivate deep harmony, deep trust, deep love and affection, and cooperate with each other, be united with each other with love and affection. This is the desire, the heart's desire of our beloved Gurudev and our beloved Srila Prabhupada. And this is why I love harmony. It is because they love it, and that is that is why I love it. And it's actually the most beautiful thing. Okay, here we go. I'll stop here and open the floor for Q&A.
Very well. Thank you so much, Brajanath Prabhu, for speaking. I'm reminded of what you actually said last week. We met, four of us, me, you, Dilip, and Yashoda, and we were discussing this week's session, and you said whatever we do requires something along these lines. Whatever we do requires commitment and deep cultivation. So we can see with something like harmony that it's not simply a passive thing, it's an active thing. And that is there in Srila Gurudev's statement: first you become Krishna conscious and then you help others. So thank you so much for coming on here, giving us your time to speak, and to speak on such an important topic, and a topic that I know is very close to your heart. We're going to have questions shortly. I'm going to post the link in the chat. You submit your questions. You can submit them anonymously. You can submit them not anonymously. I can't remember what the word for that is. And you can even read them out. If you want to ask your question, you can message myself, Vishnu Priya, Shodanandan Prabhu, and we can call on you. But write your question with it, and all the details are in the chat. But first, I'm going to hand over to Dilip, and we're going to have a new segment on the call. And Dilip is going to present what he wants us to do.
Great, thank you. Brajanath, is that okay if we do it this way? We've got the Q&As coming, and we go into this bit first. Does that work for you?
Yeah, beautiful, Dilip. I would love to have you, give your contribution, your valuable contribution.
Okay, thank you. I just want to stay in sync with you. I can't even see you because I've got this tiny little phone. So every now and again, I'll check in with you. I'll check in with everybody. I'm very comfortable with a bit of chaos, but I just want to make sure we're in sync and in harmony, even on this call, because the last thing I want to do is get into this exciting, different conversation and be out of sync with you or with the devotees too. So thank you, Taran Prabhu, as well. I'm going to do three things in the next few minutes. The first thing is I'm going to ask you to consider what is harmony for you and put it in the chat. Because I want you to have an experience. I want us, myself too, to have an experience of what does harmony mean for us. Second thing we're going to do, just to give you, some people like structure, and I think it's important. The second thing we're going to do is look at areas in our lives where there's disharmony, where there's discord, so that we can be more harmonious and contemplate higher ideals. And the third thing we're going to do, it may go back to Brajanath and the panel, and maybe to myself, is to give you some practical, real time, is that the right word? Real time, techie kind of thing, I don't know, but some immediate guidance support in areas that matter a great deal to you. So those are three things. I'd like to start, and I'd love as many of you, if you can, to engage in the conversation. By the way, I'm not going to call on anyone, so please be very comfortable. This is really about, can you hear me, by the way? Do I need to speak louder? Shouldn't under?
No, you're good.
You're fine.
So I'd really love it if, you know, you could engage in the conversation to whatever degree you want to. I'm not going to call on anyone, but I'm just wanting to presence this notion of harmony in a slightly different way, in a deeper way if we can. So first question, what is harmony for you? Whether you put it in the chat or not, just make a note. What does it mean to you to be in harmony with yourself? Just a definition.
So where do I send it to?
The chat.
If you want to send it in the chat.
What, to everyone or
And if
to
you
you?
don't
Or
want
to...
To everyone.
To everyone, because I want to hear it. But if you don't want to send in the chat, just make a note or make a mental note. What does harmony mean for me? What is it to be in harmony? Brajanath Prabhu spoke so beautifully about his experiences with Gurudev, and we've been talking about this for months and months now, and it means different things to different people. Some of you are very developed in your bhakti, some of you are new to spiritual life. I want to know what your view of harmony is. What does it mean to you? So, thank you. Taran Prabhu, when you're ready, just in a minute or two, just start reading some of them out in about a minute.
Okay.
I like some of these things I'm seeing. We'll just give you another minute. Wow, wonderful. Oh, they're coming so fast. That's great.
Wow, really nice answers.
Beautiful. Yeah, I've been contemplating this notion of harmony for about 3 days. I've absorbed myself in it and watching the magic come into my life. But I don't presume to know what it is. I'm exploring it with you. Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Do you want me to start reading them out, Dilip, or shall we do that?
Ready to, just beautiful.
Okay.
I just want to make sure everyone's got space and time to really, you know, let this in. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Okay. Well, there are so many.
Just a few. I mean, don't be offended if we don't choose your one, because I really want to read these later as well. Please go when you're ready.
Okay. Harmony, music in tune. We all have a part to play in the symphony of life. I really like that. From a good friend of mine. And Shripad Nemi Maharaj is saying, agreement and beautiful common intention. So complete open-heartedness. And our very own Yashoda is saying, harmony is dealing with conflict, with Guru in the center. Someone's just simply saying connection with Sri Krishna or Sri Guru. Dealing with conflict, oh, we've already had that. Peace of mind and heart, getting on with devotees around us. To be at peace with myself and others by acceptance of all that is. Love and compassion. Being a channel for grace to flow so that conflict can be reconciled with Guru in the center. Being able to accept everyone and everything that crosses my path as favorable for mine and everyone's development. I think that one's very important. Oh, Yashashwini has one. Okay. Whatever differences we may have, if we have the same goal, we will be able to harmonize around that. I think that's really important.
Taran Prabhu, that's beautiful. Read a couple that from devotees that maybe not Krishna conscious, that are looking at harmony from a different perspective, please. I saw one on nature, for example, which you could always relate back to Krishna, but I just wanted to hear a couple of others that may be slightly different aspects of the same principle from other people's perspective. Is there one or two like that?
To be in healthy balance in our mind, body, and soul, connection to nature.
Yeah. Nice.
How to find your inner meaning and understand it. I think that's a really nice definition of harmony.
Super.
Multiple components working in conjunction with one another in a way that is beautiful. Love and acceptance of yourself and others. Okay.
Yeah, just feel that, KK. Very nice. So let's stop there for a moment. That's just, we'll see if we can maybe send this to everybody. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. And keep engaging that. What does it mean for you? We'll go to step 2. Ready? Ready or not, we're going. Oh, there's another one there. Oh, there's so beautiful seeing all these. I'm trying to catch up, but just keep them coming, because it means you're engaged in the conversation. That's what I really care. What I really want to present. So let's go to step 2. Ready? This gets more interesting, more courageous, more daring, more worthwhile. So step 2, take a look at your life. Take a pen if you want one, need one, or sit and relax for a few minutes, please. So if you've got your pen, or if you prefer to meditate, relax, close your eyes, just take your time for a few minutes. It's going to take a few minutes. And as Taran Prabhu quite rightly said, let's do this almost like a guided meditation. Ready? We're looking to reveal something that may be also obvious to you, but for some of you, it might be news. It may not be. I don't know. We'll see. I want you to consider where there's disharmony in your life. In your relationship with yourself, to start with. I'll go slowly. I'm going to start with self, I'm going to go to others, and I'm going to spiritual life. Ready? I say ready, you don't have to say, it's probably just a phrase that I'm using as if you were with me and nodding. I can't see you. So, with yourself, do you feel good about yourself? If you're inclined, give yourself a rating out of 10. To what degree there's harmony in your life with yourself? How good do you feel about yourself? What's your experience of yourself? How high, strong, and consistent and deep is your self-esteem? Different from arrogance, delusion. What's your sense of self? How beautiful is it? How deep is it? How does it change according to circumstance? How rooted is it? Thinking about it for myself as we get present to the idea of harmony or disharmony. How well do you know who you are? As Prabhu Brajanath said so beautifully when Gurudev met him and asked him, who are you? Where are you going? What are you doing with your life? The most important questions a guru asks. Who are you? Do you know that? How well do you know that? Or is it in your mind? I'm not trying to catch you out, by the way. I'm just wanting us to be honest, because this process is about being honest, being clear with where you are, not where you'd like to be. And you don't have to talk about it publicly. This is more for you and me separately. If we share about it, great. If we don't, so where are we? Are we on track? I always have this picture in my head that I'm climbing a building on this ladder. But how do I know it's the right building and the right ladder and the right, am I actually on the right track? Over many years, am I going in the right direction? Am I living according to my ideals and values? So that's the mark I want you to give yourself out of 10. And it's not a contest, of course, and you don't have to reveal your number, but it gives you an indication. Some of you it's new, some of you it's really, really familiar. We're going to go to your relationship with others. Am I going too quickly?
No.
By the way, talk to me, send me a message, tell me to go quicker, tell me to go slower. I may not agree with you, but just talk to me.
I feel like
By
I'm
the way,
back in
you're
the
all
front
muted.
row, Dilip, of back
I
in
know.
1994.
Listen, you can imagine I've known you Shodan Under for nearly 30 years. He's my dearest friend, and like we're family, really. So I can see you on the screen. I'm just thinking, he's smiling, he's nodding, just like he was 30 years ago when I met you. Can you imagine me, by the way, being with you Shodan Under in a group of 50 people, having a conversation about personal transformation? I just couldn't. I gave up after a while. I think you just started talking without me calling on you. Don't remember. Anyway, I sidetracked. Let's go to the next area of the three relationships, because when those three relationships are in a balance, we're in harmony. Some of us are very, very comfortable in ourselves, but we don't have a relationship with other people. It's hard to develop your spiritual life like that, but there are people that do that. So what's your relationship with others like? Thank you for the comments, by the way. Just throw them in. I'd love to see them. Take your time. So what's your relationship with others like? Your friends, your family, with devotees. Is the association strong and deep? Can you be yourself? Can you say what you really think and feel? Maybe not to everybody, but to the people that are close to you. Is there self-expression? Yes, you should. I saw that. Nice. Do you have support in your life? Is it readily there for you? If you pick up the phone, can you connect with somebody that really cares about you? Do you understand the needs of others? Do you care? Is there love and affection? As Gurudev always told us, right? Brajanath Prabhu. Everybody knows that, who knows Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, it was always with Gurudev, love and affection was in his heart the whole time. Is there love and affection in our relationships? Somebody who I haven't spoken with, just tell me if I should carry on. Not somebody I know, just somebody else tell me when you're ready to move on. Give me a sign.
Are you waiting for people to?
Am I waiting? No. I want to know if I should keep going. I want more for you. I get it, correct. I want somebody to tell me if I should keep going to the next level of the third. Okay, thank you.
Ready.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to keep going. So your relationship with the spiritual life. See where there's discord, see where there's harmony. If it feels right, give yourself a rating. If it doesn't feel right to give a number, that doesn't feel good to you, throw it out. So, how close are you to Krishna? To Gurudev? Srila Prabhupada? Or you may have a different guru, or you don't have a guru. Your spiritual life. How much at the center of that is it in your life? How are your practices in spiritual life? How consistent are they? Are you flirting with spiritual life, or are you all in? That's a hard one for me to say because it's confronting, so it's keeping it real. These are hard questions for some of us. Am I absorbed in my chanting? if I chant. So I'll pause there. That's the completion of that exercise. I'll just give you a minute to reflect. We're looking for what's really the most important thing that's causing a discord right now. Where's it hurting? Or where's it just not beautiful? Where could it be amazing? But you might have given up. Don't think it's possible. I'm looking for that right now. How am I doing for time, Tarun Prabhu?
Yeah, we're all right.
Okay. Stop me, won't you? We haven't worked together like this before, so just stop me, tell me to slow down, tell me to speed up. And in a minute, I'd like the panel to be engaged as we talk to one or two people. I'd love to do that. So Tarun Prabhu, just stop me, take me in a different direction. We've talked about this before we prepared, so just, and also the panel, if you've got something to add in a minute, please, this is our program, all of us together. We haven't really prepared this, all of us together. But in a moment, I'm going to ask one or two people who'd be kind enough, courageous enough, happy strong, willing to talk to me in the panel about something that really matters to you. That's where we're going. That's the third step. And then we're on to maybe Q&A with Brajanath. So I want to leave it very open to have that conversation. Brajanath, are you still with me?
He's here.
Yes, Dilip, I'm right here. I'm just fully engaged in reading all the beautiful sharing their hearts these devotees are. It's so beautiful.
It's quite moving actually, because we're not interacting, but I can really feel the level of deep care and subject. So Brajanath, please feel free also to interject, and the panel as well, because I'm now moving into that terrain where I want to start to engage with a few people. But this is really for you to also, if Bhagavat Maharaj is here, please, feel free now that we're working as a team to also lead the conversation with me. I may start it, but please don't feel that, this is now me just talking to devotees. So please, if you feel inclined, just lead the conversation. Please add your comments. I'm not qualified in the same way as you, especially in the area of, my own spiritual practices. I'm doing my best for wherever I am. So I'd really appreciate your support for the people who have got questions or heartfelt concerns. And so just interrupt me or, feel that we're in it together at this part, please. Adivrat, is that okay with you? I can see that, thank you. Because we haven't spoken, I just want to check with you. Ideally, I would have had a chat with you both and said, look, is this okay with you? But you're kind and not saying anything, so I'm assuming we're okay.
We're all good, for sure.
So,
I want to just say a technical thing, which is that if you want to interact, we're going to have this session that Dilip has, well, this segment rather. If you want to interact, to share your considerations, how your relationship, your harmony with yourself, with others, with Guru, with Krishna, with spirituality, out of 10, or just something on that topic, where I'm going to call on a couple of people if people are interested. So if you can send a message to me in the chat saying, I'm happy to speak, then you can do that, and I can call on you.
we're exploring, we're reflecting, creating space for each other. I should also say, in terms of confidentiality, we do record these. So if you ever feel that, you want to edit something out, just let Tarun Prabhu know at some point tonight. You know, this is for us really. So I just want to make that really clear.
Awesome. Okay, we're ready to call on the first person. Okay.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Tarun. Go ahead.
Okay. He's a very good friend of mine, full of
Oh,
charisma. He's rolling his head. He knows it's him. I'm going to call on my very dear Hare Krishna Prabhu, who's very expressive. I was going to ask him beforehand if he would be ready for this segment, but I had a feeling in my heart that he didn't need any preparation, that he would just jump on and wear his heart on his sleeve. So I'm going to hand over.
You've been set up now. Are you okay to talk like that? I mean, I know Tarun probably knows you very well, but are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
Hey, super. Great. So over to you. What came up there, or what have you been thinking about with this idea of harmony?
Normally it's sort of like there's like a very, very pressurized sensation, like kind of in my heart, which is like being restricted by some internal mechanism which I just don't understand. And so you know, like it's essentially just like I want to serve, but I won't let myself serve. Potentially because I'm like worried that I'll be rejected, or that like you know, I don't have enough for myself, you know, like I don't have enough like emotional capital to share with someone else. So I make sure that I keep all of my emotional energy tightly bound to my chest. But it's a maddening experience where I have like it seems as though I have a lot of love to give, but I just totally refuse to give it. And it's like, yeah, it's just completely disharmonious. And on occasion it will flow, and there's like a beautiful harmony that occurs, like everything is glowing. There's, you know, like there's some kind of celestial orchestra playing somewhere, you know, like it feels like really beautiful. And then at a certain point I just run out of courage, and it's very, very scary.
What's scary, Prabhu?
It's a commitment thing as well. It's a commitment thing. I feel as though I've met different kind of manifestations of guru who seem to like disagree with one another, and so I'm doubting all of them.
Now we're getting to the root of why you don't. There's doubt.
Right. Yeah, like chronic.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like a reflexive doubt.
Yeah, a reflexive doubt.
And it's rooted in also, I mean, you know, when I really kind of reflect on like what's the emotional root of that, it's like, you know, it's some obstacle born of past sinful activities, probably, you know, just some like kind of like generic hatred, or you know, selfishness.
I feel you're going away from something, if I may just say that. When you were saying about the doubt, I was really with you. Then when you said probably something else, I lost you. I thought you went more into your mind then. Did you feel the same, or was it just me?
Potentially.
The point is there's a doubt. Yeah, the point is I hear there's a real doubt, and that really troubles you. It's chronic. What was the word you used? Chronic what?
Well, reflexive. Chronic, reflexive doubt. Oh.
Reflexive doubt.
Yeah.
That's where the source of the whole thing is. It's around that. How long has that been going on?
You know, I can definitely trace it to childhood. I think I have like some memory of like playing games with people, and then like, you know, as kids do, you know, they make games up as they go along, and feeling like I had like some inspiration to offer, and then the other kids would like look at me weirdly and like not pick up on like the addition to the game that I had, and potentially that is where it's, you know, that it can kind of, it's almost because inspiration has a lot to do with breath as well, doesn't it? So like if you inspire, inhalation, exhalation, inspire, I don't know. So it's almost like I can't breathe when that doubt comes. It's like my breath is like stops.
So let's pause there. Let's just pause there, because also with considering the time and the way this is going. And by the way, Prabhu, if we don't get to a deeper sense of clarity for you today, I'd be really happy to speak with you about this privately, and I can get your number if you'd be open to that, because I don't want to just cut this short and not go into this in a more deeper way, because this is really, really important. I'd like to bring the panel in to give you some insights and support in terms of doubt over gurus as well. And I really would love to get their ideas and guidance and support for you in this, if you'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Does that work for you, or would you?
I'm okay. I'm okay and very grateful and open to any of your suggestions.
Oh, well, thank you, Prabhu, because I really want to just make sure we get different angles on this. But I think you've got, and by the way, when I say something, you say, no, it's not that, because I want to be in tune with you rather than tell you what you're thinking. So my sense in listening to you is that the root of it, at least at this level, is that you doubt. There's different gurus and you don't have that faith is not there. Is that the issue? Yeah. So I'd love, and I, by the way, have learned so much about this from speaking to my good friends like Nemi Maharaj, Budar Prabhu, Basi Maharaj, and Yusha, when I've had my doubts. So I really, really appreciate this. And this will not be just a phenomenon for you. By the way, if this is a tricky one, because you may not want to say this in the chat, how do I find out if other people have got a similar concern? How do I do that, Tarun? Do I just ask the question?
What concern?
About other people having doubts. Anyway, if you do feel like responding, good. But I'd like to bring in Brajanath Prabhu or Vidar Prabhu, who've got so much to say on these subjects from experience. And I'd really like to just explore that for a few minutes, please, from the panel.
Okay, Brajanath Prabhu, do you have something that you want to add?
But thank you, Tarun Prabhu, for connecting in this. I really appreciate so much the way we are interacting and making it holistic. Yeah, our conversation and sharing. The doubt is part of our development, our progress. Yeah, like Arjuna was full of doubts, and he expressed his doubts. Krishna was listening, and he allowed Arjuna to express all his doubts. And then at some point, Arjuna said, I don't know what to do anymore. Please help me. Yeah, this beautiful conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna is the wealth of all spiritual thinkers and practitioners. The Bhagavad Gita is most famous. And only when Krishna started to give that beautiful insight to Arjuna, who now is ready to listen. Yeah. And I would recommend anyone who has doubts to pray deeply and to approach those who are kind to us, who we have faith in, and ask them for help. Yeah. And Sri Krishna is the ultimate origin of all gurus, and he speaks so nicely in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. After Arjuna accepts him as his spiritual master, now I don't know what to do anymore. You please tell me. Yeah, then Krishna says, approach someone who is self-realized, yeah, and inquire from him or her, yeah, and render some seva. Yeah. Then all your doubts will be dispelled, because they who are self-realized, these great souls, they are free from any doubts, and they will at once help us to understand that we have forgotten who we really are. Yeah. We need to identify ourselves with who we really are and respect that as our most important step, first step in our journey towards perfection, towards success in life. Yeah, that I am so. And then Krishna goes on and he dispels all Arjuna's doubts. Yeah, he speaks the whole random, whatever is there in the realm of yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, stanga yoga, how this world works and how we cannot ever in any condition become affected by matter unless we identify with it. Yeah. And the most beautiful way to overcome all doubts and all obstacles, Sri Krishna is telling to Arjuna, is by becoming my devotee. So I would, whatever my advice or suggestion, please pray and connect with Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, follow in the footsteps of Arjuna. Krishna didn't speak Bhagavad Gita only for Arjuna; he spoke it for all living entities in all times to come. And what to speak if any one of us who has doubts, and I can recommend it also, which is so much necessary, that we create with each other some genuine affectionate relationships. Especially try to find one devotee who is more advanced than you and create friendship with that devotee. Then gradually, doubts, they will disappear and everything will become clear. And then happiness, inspiration is coming automatically.
Brajanath, Prabhu, thank you so much.
Beautiful.
I'm going to ask somebody else from the panel to respond. And just before they do, is Nami Maharaj here as well? Are you here, my friend?
Mm-hmm.
Just say, is Nami Maharaj here?
Here.
He was. Oh yes, he's here.
Yeah, Nami Maharaj, he and I. So Krishna, it's Hare Krishna, Prabhu, right? I can share something just very briefly before I ask another person, one of our panel, to respond. This is such a deep and beautiful subject you brought up. It's really touched my heart, because I've been, grappling with this myself. And Nami Maharaj, my good friend, I was sitting, we go to the park, Regent's Park sometimes, and I said the same thing to him. I said, I just don't know if Krishna's there. And he taught me a very simple prayer very early on, which was, to just speak to Krishna and say, if you're there, please let me know, because I have my doubts. It was such a beautiful prayer for me. It really opened my heart, because I just thought all the devotees were so enlivened, so enlightened. And, I could never really find my way in bhakti. So, a prayer to, as Brajanath Prabhu is, maybe a good start, and finding a friend who will really guide you through this. This is not a one-off quick conversation for you to suddenly find, or you might, but I really appreciate the conversation so much that I would really, really want to support you in any way I can to go deeper. Yashodananda Prabhu is going to say something next. Please.
Oh,
Prabhu, are you there? Yashodananda?
Oh, he's here.
Yes, I've unmuted myself.
Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranams. Hare Krishna Das. I wanted to thank you because you've shared this kind of sentiment with me before, but to share it in a forum of this size is pretty gutsy, to be honest. And I think the beautiful thing is actually by you doing this, there's some people already who are empathizing and feeling the same thing as you, but there'll be lots of people who may not say anything who you're actually serving, because you open up by saying about service. You're already serving, not only by turning up, but by being as honest and transparent as you just have been, and as vulnerable actually as you've just been. So total credit to you for doing that. A few things that have helped me along the way, because I think I don't really want to give any theoretical knowledge. I only want to tell you or share with everybody what has really worked for me, what I can speak from my heart, is that I've been a devotee for 25 years, or an aspiring devotee for 25 years. I don't really have a relationship with Krishna at all, to be honest. We're taught that we're Radha Dasya, and of course, we want to be Taratmik with Radha as our way of serving Krishna, Anyablasa Sunyam. So we understand that philosophy conceptually. But actually, it's like, you know, those Russian dolls, one's inside another. I don't know if you can picture them, but there's one, it's like one principal master leads you to another. Gurudev, in my case, Gurudev led me to Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu is leading me to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's kind of where I'm at. And I really understand not to worship Nityananda Prabhu on his own. And Nityananda Prabhu will be furious with me, although he is Akrodha, he doesn't get angry. He wouldn't like it if I worshipped him exclusively and not Mahaprabhu. I have to be worshipping him to get to Mahaprabhu. He will lead me to Mahaprabhu. But my experience is put your faith and love and service to where you can fully believe and tangibly feel. And don't worry if you can't feel a relationship with Krishna yet. We all get there in wonderfully up the mountain in wonderfully individualistic and crooked paths, and every path is different. The next person who speaks may have a wonderful relationship with Krishna. I have a relationship with Nityananda Prabhu. If you just have a relationship just with your guru, even that on its own is fantastic. Just one Ishtadev, one recipient of your love, through whom and with whom your Shraddha, your faith can grow. This is the starting point. Everything else then takes care of itself. So that's the first thing I wanted to share. The second thing I wanted to share is a story a gentleman called Naguna told me many years ago. He lives on the big island of Hawaii now. He was one of the gentlemen that started Badger. He hosted Gurudev every year in Badger. So a very, very wonderful Sevak of Gurudev's. And he told me that when he first got the Bhagavad Gita, there's a whole wonderful story. I think he was in Alaska and there were bears around and it was all very colorful, but I don't remember all that stuff. I just remember this principle. He said, I picked up the Gita and I made a solemn vow that I'm going to read it like it's the absolute truth. I'm going to read it in full faith, even though I have no faith, and see where it gets me. So my invitation to anyone without faith is just to try Krishna consciousness for 1 month like you have faith. Fake it, actually. Just say I have faith, just for 1 month, not forever, for 1 month. And just see where that gets you. Because that then takes us on to the story of grace. So for me, devotees do understand that one of the first lesson of humility is to know I'm not qualified. I am not qualified. But we forget as devotees a very important second step in humility. And the second step in humility is, although I am not qualified, it doesn't matter that I'm not qualified. This is absolutely crucial because we as human beings suffer from a lack of self-worth, from worthiness. We suffer from shame and guilt. But Nityananda Prabhu embraces everybody. He embraced Jagai Madai. He embraces, you can't be too fallen for Nityananda to embrace you. So grace is the way to go. And the language of grace is the language of begging and the language of greed. If we in our hearts are beggars asking for grace, grace will descend in our heart and Cupid's arrow will shower 1,000 beautiful honey-tipped arrows into our heart if we beg, and we beg sincerely. And that's within our control. We can beg. We can be beggars. And if we have greed, well, actually, I learned a long time ago, I didn't have greed. So the answer for grace to come down as well as begging is if you don't have greed for greed. Anyone can have greed for greed. I don't have greed, but I have greed for greed. And if I have greed for greed and I beg, then I guarantee you grace will enter your heart. And that is a beautiful, that can beautifully intensify your Krishna consciousness Shraddha. It will bring you sadhu sangha and will bring you into the ontological evolution of your Krishna consciousness. And you can't go wrong with Nityananda Prabhu and grace. And as it's the day before his appearance day, it seems very apt to speak with him at the center.
Beautiful. Okay. I'm sure the other panelists.
Did he want to respond to that, Tarun?
Okay, I can let you respond very quickly, Hare Krishna Prabhu. But we, if you feel inclined, and I'm sure you'll tell me if you don't, but we will move things on. But yeah, I'll give you a minute if you want to say something.
Oh, well, hopefully all of the the beautiful and sophisticated sentiments that have been offered will actually penetrate my heart and disperse the endless confusion and dark, just the wall is very thick. I've come up against it again and again, and it does it gets worn away by by beautiful interactions with devotees. So I'm very thankful and just astounded that I've been able to receive such beautiful advice, and it is a journey, so I'm frustrated that I can't just sever it completely once and for all, but surely the time will come, and until then it's just going to be receiving mercy. So Jai Haribol, Jai Nitai, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Well, we're going to pass on to the next person, but Yashashwini Didi said that she wants to add something brief, and
Yes,
I can never
please.
say no to her.
No way. Yashashwini, please. We'd love to hear from you, please.
Haribol, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
We
can.
can hear you.
Haribol, Hare Krishna Das.
Haribol, hi Yashashwini.
Haribol. Yeah, actually, you showed Anandan, gave a really nice example of the Russian dolls inside each other. And it was making me realize how all of our gurus, actually our gurus are not single entities either. Each guru is so absorbed inside of the mood and the teaching of his guru. He's like the Russian doll inside, who's the Russian doll inside the next one, who's the Russian doll inside the next one, all the way up to Krishna. And so in this way, sometimes people think, well, if I had Prabhupada or Gurudev, I would have faith. But actually, they're all inside like the Russian doll. And at the top, Krishna's in control and the Paramatma's watching everything. So I remember, if we can just have faith, actually, if anything is wrong by any strange chance anywhere, oh, hasn't gone up. If anything is wrong by any strange chance anywhere, which we don't expect, Krishna will either remove you or remove the person. You only have to be simple, and you only have to have faith that your Russian doll is with inside the Russian doll, inside the Russian doll, inside the Russian doll, and have that faith and simplicity that, as Yashoda was also saying, whatever faults we have, they can work past it. So in this way, be really simple. Just allow yourself to feel whatever you feel about yourself and know that you're still acceptable. That's the wonderful thing, that the more we can admit to those weaknesses, the more they're able to work with us. So don't try to squash it, just be that and just have a simple faith and know that you're completely safe. And that's what I had to say to you. Okay, big hug.
Haribol, big hug.
Haribol.
Okay, we're going to go to Badara very quickly, and then we're going to go to the next person we're calling on because they have to leave very shortly.
Sure.
So,
well, thank you for giving me a couple of minutes, Hare Krishna Das. Thank you for opening up and being so honest. A couple of thoughts very briefly. Your dilemma is not any different than most of our dilemmas. And being here in the material world, we've been trying on different identities, lifetime after lifetime, and seeking our sense of self and our need to belong. And when we're disappointed in that need to connect, so for instance, when we have childhood trauma or some kind of disappointment like that, it can leave really, really strong marks on our heart. And that can lead us to having difficulty trusting and opening up. And so I just want to kind of, like validate that for you, that's, like Yashashwini said, that's okay. That's good that you're in touch with that feeling. It's valid. And of course, doubt is a function of intelligence. So based on your past experience, you're now looking at new relationships and you're going, well, is this going to happen again? Because if it is, I'm going to pull back and I'm going to be protective. I'm going to withdraw within myself, as you quite nicely described. The only other thing I would add, and it's a long conversation, and I hope that you do get a chance to talk with Dilip Prabhu, but the only thing I would add is that take advantage of the association of devotees and have the experience of being loved and accepted for who you are. And the more that you do that, with each consequent experience, it will build a layer upon layer upon layer, and you'll be able to gradually get into that place of trust. And the more you do, the more you'll flow, you'll find yourself, and you'll have that sense of belonging again. Hare Krishna.
Very Ball, thank you so much. HK, do you want to say something for 30 seconds?
No. Dhanavat pranams.
Oh, I miss you. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow at Sankirtan, which we will announce later. Anyway, I'm going to hand over to Vishnu Priya, my co-host, who's going to introduce our next human.
Before we do that, before I do hand it over to the next person who's going to speak, I know we're running over time already on our call, but I hope it's okay with everyone that we're going to probably extend the call for another hour, just because it's so beautiful. I feel like our calls just keep getting better and better and better. So I hope everyone can stay on and continue.
And to those of you who are leaving, thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with you. We're sorry that it's going on in a way, but we really appreciate being here, and we wish you well. And if there's something that's come up for you that you want to talk further about, let's see if there's a way that we can continue the conversation. But really, if you are leaving now or in 10 minutes, thank you so much for being with us. It means a lot. And we're going to carry on, as you said, Vishnu, until 10.
Also, Also, if anyone does want to watch the recording after, it's going to be on our Holistic Bhakti Facebook page. So everything's there for everyone to access. So I think, do you want to add anything else to it, Prabhu?
No, please go ahead, Vishnu Priya.
So the next person who we have who's going to share a little bit about their reflections over the questions that Dilip Prabhu just asked us all is a very close friend of mine all the way from Miami. Vishwarup Prabhu, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna.
You sound like a robot. Is there any way you can take your mic out?
Better?
I think it's your headphones.
Okay, give me a second. How about now?
Oh no, it's not your headphones.
No. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh no. A second. How about now?
Let's go with it, Prabhu.
Okay, it's not too bad. It should be okay.
Quiet out. Come on, let's go.
Should I talk loud? Will that help?
No, you're doing great. We can hear you really well.
Okay. So, Hare Krishna, everyone. So I don't remember everything I had said, so I'm going to scroll back because I was listening very much to the questions. And so there was a lot of questions that you had asked, and I really enjoyed what you said. So you said, please, to paraphrase, so describe where you feel you have disharmony. So my response to that was that I see disharmony in my habits. And then you asked, how is your disharmony affecting you personally? So personally, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. And so my response to that was that I see some of my habits being directly connected to my inner harmony and my spirituality and self-esteem. You had asked about self-esteem. Then the next question you asked is, do you feel satisfied with yourself? And I don't feel satisfied with myself. Then you asked, how is your self-esteem though? This is an interesting thing. You asked, how's self-esteem? I actually feel that my self-esteem is settled, even though I'm not happy with myself. I don't know if that can make any sense.
It makes sense.
And you asked if we feel lost. And so I don't feel totally lost. Maybe this is the result of some past life karma.
That's interesting. I'm glad you said it, because I don't remember saying, do you feel lost? But you might have heard that and I might have said it. I'm just curious, by the way. Keep going. This is good.
And so I also said, I need to find ways to prioritize myself. So this kind of ties into the whole harmony thing, and it gets tied into my sadhana and into my treatment of myself, because I find that I often care too much for other people and I don't care enough for myself. But then something else I brought into the conversation was where we can draw the line between selfishness and selflessness. And so
Self what? Selfishness and
selflessness.
Selflessness. Great. Love that. Yeah. Keep
And
going.
so I always question is like, we're always told like that to be able to love people appropriately, to be able to give to everyone else, we have to give to ourselves primarily first. But then I always wonder where the line is, because it's like we talk about the different anarthas that people face, and and pratishta is a big one. I think about this all the time. So I always wonder where I can find the appropriate relationship where it's not pratishta, but it's genuine selflessness. And then I've also heard, I can't remember who said this, but something like that in selflessness, we take care of ourselves in selflessness, right?
Yeah.
I'll hurry up. And so
no, good. It's good. What I'm looking for, you got beautiful thing. Everything you said is so, I could talk about all of them with you. See if you can look through your list, take your time and see if there's one that touches your heart in a different way that causes you something to go, oh, I want to talk about that one. If you want to keep going through your list, that's also fine. But what I'm looking for is, because you could say selflessness and selfishness is a great one, but I don't know if that's so important to you right now. Which one of those stands out? Or do you want to keep going?
Let's see. Okay, I guess for me, the biggest question, my question for me is how to switch our habits so that we can allow ourselves for our spiritual life to develop. And this might sound crazy. I know a lot of like us younger generation can feel this, but it seems like everything we do in this modern day and age makes us feel like we're trapped. Like I feel like I'm a victim of my own habits. And it's like, I try hard and then it's like, it's not so much of this type of moment where you have this large emotional catharsis where you're just crying and feeling bad about one instance, but rather it's a sum total of just your everyday life and just feeling like, what am I doing every day? And is it getting any better? And I think it's even more tragic in a way, because it's like, I don't know, it's like sadhana is only strong in, it's only strong in consistency, and it's like habits kind of go against consistency. So I guess I'm just ready to hear whatever you have to say to me about that, and to everyone else too. Hopefully somebody appreciates
Yeah,
this.
we're going to hear from the panel. I'm going to bring the panel in straight away. I say I, Tarun and I. Just want to home in on something. This is great conversation.
Thank you.
Maybe not for you, by the way. You might be flipping out. This is not great for me at all. It's like doing my head in. So I say that and I have to think about what I'm saying. Is there a habit or two, or is it the whole thing, Prabhu? Is there one or two that really kind of like just get you, or is it the whole sum of all the habits and your sense of not moving forward?
I think it's a sum total of all my habits. It's just kind of like a lifestyle thing. Like I think I could just be doing so much more.
What could you be doing?
I could be waking up earlier. I could be waking up earlier, going to bed earlier. I could stop, I don't know, stop wasting time on my cell phone. That's an example.
How much time do you spend on your cell phone? Are we talking 3 to 5 hours? Oh, by the way, you probably weren't expecting that from me. Let me just stop. By the way, I should just say about the way I work, I can't help myself. So if you want to stop at any point, because it's going like flipping out, this wasn't what I was expecting, just tell me. It's just when people start talking to me, I just start talking back. So just stop if you want to.
Definitely.
You're okay, cool. What are we talking about here? We're talking, I've got my kids here not listening to this, they're 18, so I'm just curious as well. What are we talking about? 3 to 5 hours, 1 to 2, how many hours on the phone?
I mean, it's not really so much sitting down for like 2 hours or 3 hours, but I think if I were to count like the sum of the day, it's probably at least 2 to 3 hours.
Okay, 2 to 3 hours. Okay, got you.
And I've gotten better too.
Yeah, that's an improvement. That's a breakthrough almost. 2 to 3. So we'd love to get up a bit earlier. What time are we talking, by the way? What are we saying from what to what?
The time I wake up or the time I go to sleep? I probably wake up around, if I go to bed around midnight, I'll be up around 7 or 8. But if I go to bed around 1 or 2, 2:30 in the morning, I wake up at like 10:30. Or if I have to make a work engagement, or say I'm a college student, for instance, so I have to make my classes the next morning, I'll wake up early, be a zombie, but I'll be there. But then it's like when that happens,
that's what you mean by the habits. I wanted to get a feel for, because habits is such a generic thing. I wanted to get a sense of you, so that when the panel is speaking to you, they've got a sense of where you're at. And this sense of overwhelming habits that you can't seem to shift from getting up at different times to the amount of hours you spend on the cell phone. How long has that experience been going on for? Are we talking what period of time?
I want to say it's been going on since I started graduate school. So this is my second year of school. It kind of really started, I want to say, like, it really started bothering me last year. And it started because I moved out. It's approaching year 2, because it's like, it all started because I had moved out of my house. And that was my first time living out of the house.
Okay. So remember, why we're doing this in this context is that if we can really be effective in our daily lives, and look, I'm smiling with you because I have those experiences myself, but if we can really be effective in our, regulation, the way we manage our time, our consciousness, we've got that opportunity to then contemplate these higher ideals that really matter. This is about balancing, our spiritual values with our material existence. So this is a very deep and, subject. So it'd be nice to hear from the panel as well, some thoughts on this. Was there anything else, Prabhu, before we just move away from how would you summarize the issue in your words, in a few words? What I really want to do is what?
I really just want to find a way to be able to break free of like the slavery of habits.
Great. Well said. I want to break free of the slavery of habits, because if I were to do that, what would I get? What would there be available to me if I were to do that? What would you get from that?
I'd have more time I'd have not only more time to dedicate to my sadhana, I would be in the mental space to devote myself to my sadhana.
Yeah. And this is such a challenge for all of us, as devotees, as people who are not devotees, and you've really brought us right to a very fundamental thing. And I think we all struggle with this. I have as a devotee as well, as should I be thinking about this? Should I, so let's see, I would like to hear from the panel. And from the panel that haven't spoken so far, I'd really appreciate if Bhagavat Maharaj is here, or Madhavra, you know, whoever would like to speak, please, if you could speak to this, I'd so appreciate that.
Should we allow Brajanath Prabhu to speak first? Or
Wonderful.
did Sarashri Dilip put her hand up?
Saraswati, we want, yes, please.
Yes, please go for it.
Who's going first?
Sarashri Dilip first. Yeah.
I was told a long time ago that we are creatures of habits. The habits make us. And so I was given this tool to look at my habits. Because if we try to look at them all at once, we become overwhelmed. So I was told to draw a brick wall. And each brick is a different habit that makes us up, that makes us who we are and how we behave. And our habits are bad and good. If you drew this wall and put all your habits on there, not all of them are bad. A lot of them, you have good habits as well. So if you tried to pull out every brick all at once of your bad habits in order to change them, the wall would fall down. It would be too much. But if you look at each brick, if you draw the wall, and it's just a practical way of making it tangible and not overwhelming. So if you look at each brick and say, well, this is good, this, I do this, I'm happy, these things are good. But then look individually at the ones you're not so happy with. And take that brick out. Now, if you take a brick out, the wall becomes not so strong. So it has to be replaced with another brick. And so because we've developed this habit over a lifetime quite often, we need to say, what would I like to replace that habit with? So if my negative habit is that I get up at 10 o'clock every morning, I like to lie in bed, then replace it with a good habit of I will get up at 7 o'clock every morning. And do that for 3 months. I was told it takes 3 months to change a bad habit into a good one. And just focus on that one. And replacing that bad one with a good one. And you'll find that slowly, slowly, you can make changes. But you acknowledge what you like about yourself, what you don't, what works, what doesn't work, what's serving me and what isn't serving me. And look at them individually, not all at once, or it becomes just too overwhelming.
This is very very smart. I even imagine myself taking a piece of paper, writing them all out, and then just like cutting it up into little pieces, and then being like pulling one and then writing a new one and putting it there and making like this big mosaic. Yes,
and it also helps you examine your feelings. You know, by writing it down, it makes it tangible, and you can examine each. Well, does this serve me? Doesn't it serve me? Why doesn't it serve me? And examine it, and not in a way to be negative about yourself, but just, this is there. I'm not happy with it. It isn't serving me. What would I like to change it for? It was just a tool that really helped me a long time ago. A wise man gave me that guidance.
Thank you, Didi.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sarashri. I think Brajanath Prabhu wants to say something.
Yeah, I'm very touched, Ishwara Prabhu. that you share this, and I can just say that I'm in the same position. Yeah, we all have bad habits. So thank you for being so generous to share with us, with me especially. And it is the fact that I've been around for this life some years, and with devotees or practicing devotees for about 40 years. And it is a very sad thing to notice that even great gurus, yeah, they have bad habits. Yeah, I wouldn't say that Sri Guru is a different category altogether, but there are many sincere devotees who want to serve and who want to help others, and they are so much, yeah, sincere and enthusiastic to help others. But bad habits, to get rid of bad habits, I have discovered in, what is it, in my journey, that without open and honest friendship, it is impossible. Without having the support, because alone we are so weak, we can be broken at any time. But if we are together with each other and we have a bundle, that is the example. And really, it is a sad thing, and sometimes we refuse to acknowledge, but we can learn so much from this openness, yeah, to be with each other and to reach out. Yeah, I want to be your friend and check in with you time to time on your phone. Yeah. Use your phone for just checking in a little bit, and be there for each other. And otherwise there is no taste in all these bad habits. It's just I don't know, it's just because we have no, I think it is, yes, we've been away from Krishna and Guru for so long, and now we are just left with this world, and we cannot but be involved. Yeah. So open and honest friendship, that is my observation in and also my own need. Yeah, I want really that, and that requires a beautiful willingness from our part, and not just I'm your friend. No, it must go deeper. We must really explore with each other. Well, how can I support you, and how do I want your support? Yeah, let's check in and let's cultivate something which is genuine, like Saraswati is studying some good habits. There are so many things that bring happiness and bliss, and before you know it, the day is over, and then you just fall in your bed and you sleep and get up because the phone goes and you get your friend on the phone. Yeah. How's everything? Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to show my sympathy for you, and you're not alone. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhu.
And with each other, we create something that is much better than anything in this world. We create spiritual friendship. Yeah. And that is so enlivening that bad habits will always be there to some extent, because we are but a jiv, and we are not liberated. So to always think, our Guru Maharaj always said, always think how get rid of the bad habits. This is not good. Then at the end of your life, you only think about your bad habits. Better with each other, cultivate something which is really genuine and beautiful, and which touches our hearts, and then life becomes joyful. It becomes a thrill. Yeah. And then bad habits, okay, yeah, later, but even if we have time for them, it's not really that which can compare to what we are now getting addicted to. Yeah, good habits. Yeah. Yeah, Vrinda is studying, go on Harinam Sankirtan with the devotees in London or in Miami, yeah, or wherever you are. Yeah, that is such a beautiful experience. Yeah. Okay, I just wanted to again share my sympathy for you. And also, you're not alone. Yeah, I am in the same position. Yeah, I'm happy that I have friends that make my life, successful. That is all I can say. That's God's gift. Yeah.
I think Dilip Prabhu, we'll pass it over to you before, unless Badara Prabhu, Raghava Prabhu, you want to add something. Lalita Didi, Madhura Prabhu.
I can add one quick thing, just a thought to share with Vishwarupa, and it's been touched on by the other speakers. I think it's about if we prioritize what's really important to us. I think Raghava Prabhu had something to say about that. Why am I doing what I'm doing? That's very, very helpful. But you're contrasting selfishness with selflessness, and selflessness doesn't mean self-lostness. You don't lose yourself in giving to others. You actually find yourself. The more you give to others, the more you find yourself. So that might be perhaps a nice thought to take away and kind of look at that and just see if that's something that would work for you.
No, it's a good way to think about that. Yeah. It's not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less.
Well, I think one of the challenges, I think you're in a very good place, because a lot of us have really kind of sense of low self-esteem, and and we know, as Brajanath Prabhu was saying earlier, that if we don't have a sense of harmony within ourselves, it's very difficult to have a sense of harmony anywhere else. So you're a step ahead of the game. You have a strong sense of self. You're okay with yourself. So now all you have to do is say, hey, let me bring that to other people, and then you got the perfect picture. So anyway, something to think about.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's definitely a good thought. So try to remember all of it.
You can listen back to it when it's being recorded, so you can always.
This is true. This is true.
You can do that.
Thank you, technology.
Vishnu, is there anybody else in the panel there that wanted to say something?
Raghava Prabhu? Madhura Prabhu, would you like to add something?
I think
I can just add just a couple of words if it's allowed.
Yeah, go for it.
And with all the wonderful speakers already, so there's little to add. And I think Badara Prabhu made a nice point about selflessness and self-loss or selfishness. Like when we look at the examples of our gurus and how much they're giving, like we feel we always fall short, and there's no way we can like match up to that kind of giving. But we also see how they have a very strong spiritual practice where they are very serious about their sadhana, so that they can give from that place of complete spiritual strength. And the quality of their giving is like tremendous. It's not the amount or the quantity necessarily, but like, so when you come in contact with somebody like Gurudev, you feel like you've benefited tremendously, and that's because of their spiritual strength. And so that filling up your own cup before you pour, in others, I think that's an important thing that that I can personally share. When you're trying to spread yourself so thin that you feel at the end of the day, you fall short. Like, when you look in the mirror, you feel maybe frustrated or tired, or just like completely depleted. And so I find that for myself, from a personal self, to be something important also to have a strong spiritual practice, or to have good sadhana, because I do want to give, and I never want to sort of like try to somehow be in a conflict, and an inner conflict about my giving to others and my giving to myself. It's not selfish. That's actually the best way of giving to another, is to first take care of myself. Like in the airplane, when there's I don't know what they explain, but first you have to put the mask on yourself before you put it on a child. So I think, because if you don't do that, then you'll end up like dying, and then you can't take care of the child. So then everyone loses out. So that's one little thing that came to mind. And thank you for sharing and being so honest. That's very beautiful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so
I
much.
got two
Prabhu.
things to
Treasured
add,
of
if
it.
I may, before. Two things to add for you, Prabhu, if I may, to add to what our wonderful comments from our panelists. There's two things. One is, how good is, I think the support that you have is good, but can you just tell me how good is the support network of relationships that you have? How strong is that?
I consider it good, but I don't know. I've been more selective about who I give my energy to lately. But I think
you
I
have
have
support.
Oh, I definitely have support. I thank Krishna, thank Gurudev. Yeah.
Perfect. So the second thing is, how good are you at reaching out for support? Good, amazing, average.
I'm terrible at asking for support, and I've gotten even worse in the past 2 years.
Okay, so that's the place to go. While you have good self-esteem, asking for help, support is a weakness. And if you could cultivate that and do it, more and more with those people that care about you, that's going to make a huge difference. You know that.
Yes.
Good.
I have one thought about that, and I guess this is the perfect place for me to bring it up. So say, for instance, I was dealing with some problem I was facing 1 month ago, for instance, and this is going a little bit off topic from habits, but just being able to share and ask for help when needed. I was facing a problem maybe 1 or 2 months ago, and I wanted to go to a senior Vaishnava. And maybe this is selfishness, but I didn't want to tell the senior Vaishnava my problems because I didn't want them to think less of me, and I wanted them to still want me to be around. I never wanted to be somebody who is troubled or is a problem. All these things. I always have that fear. It's because these pure Vaishnavas, like for instance, I'm in Miami and Shamrani Didi is staying very nearby. As much as I would love to go to her and express myself, I also understand that she is on such a place, and I don't know. It's like I just don't. It's not. I don't so much care about my image being tarnished, but it's more like I just don't want to bring those types of problems. I mean, and maybe this might be judgmental, but I grew up seeing different people going to senior Vaishnavas with a lot of their problems. And it's not that I thought that it was wrong, but I always was curious as to what is worth bringing to the Vaishnavas versus what is not. And that's completely, I'm at fault. I actually admire the people who could be so strong to go to the senior Vaishnavas and ask for help. But I always was unsure of, are my problems worth going to someone about? And do I really want to? Because I want to keep that connection that we have, which is just purely on spiritual topics. But of course, I do realize that it's we have to be able to address the self. We can't. Or I just need to study my Gurudev's Harikatha deeper. But there's a lot of things for me to think about in that sense.
Can I respond to that just briefly?
Definitely.
Because this is very important. I got a couple of messages coming through There's a lot of good analysis there. Discernment is excellent, but I want you to consider coming more from your heart. There could be some overthinking going on. Now, with Shamrani Didi, I can understand that's a dilemma for a lot of us, we can all relate to that. But that's one thing to consider is overthinking. There's a lot of overthinking going on there. And there's, by the way, good thinking too. It's very grounded thinking. But go ahead.
No, I was just saying, yes, you pinned me perfectly.
There's a lot of overthinking.
I'm a super overthinker.
And I think that's the shift I'd like to support you with in some way, is if you can shift from overthinking, always trying to work things out in your head, and taking some risks. Then maybe with a friend, say, look, I'm thinking of going to see Shamrani. I think I'm going to feel like a complete loser, fool, whatever it is. And I only want to go to the precious things so I can also, engage with her, talk it through with somebody. First thing. Second thing is, notice how much you overthink and how, you know, you don't allow yourself, because you've got a beautiful heart. And then you're sitting there with all these great friends and you're thinking it through a lot. First thing. Second thing is, you know, it's risky to communicate and ask for help. It's really, really, you said that at the beginning. So that's the area of growth and development for you, is to have the courage, like you have now, to really start to say, look, you know, I really don't want to bother you, you know, you've got a busy schedule and here I am, feeling like I can't even get out of bed on time, you know. But that's where the support is required on the basics. We need support. We're out of our depth.
Yeah.
We're way out of our depth. To be human is to be out of your depth. We're way out of our depth. So, and Brajanath Prabhu has been teaching me that, and in terms of, he's saying to me, I need support. I'm thinking, why would you need support? You sat with Gurudev or all this, you've got people, but he's also, we all need support. When he said that to you before, he meant it.
Yeah.
We all need help. And your challenge goal, I think, to pinpoint it, is to focus on the specific area of asking for help. And if you don't like the word help, call it support, call it what you like. If you feel like you're some kind of pathetic human being for asking for help, but we need it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we need support. Last thing to say about this, which I hope will be helpful for other people, is I want you to go from unconscious habits to conscious practices. Unconscious habits to conscious practices. So a conscious practice is the following. It's simple. You can make a note of this. This is my definition of a practice. It's simple. It's regular.
Okay.
You want to do it because it's got a benefit to you. You may not be excited about doing it, but you know it's going to benefit you. As you showed Nanda helped me with this when I was teaching this course recently, about a couple of years ago, he made a brilliant point. It raises consciousness. So a new practice is something that's simple, regular. You see the benefit of it, even if you're struggling with it, and it raises consciousness.
Yeah, it is, but you can.
And the last piece of it, you get support to implement, embed, automate, what's the word? Automate, make natural that practice. You need support for it usually. So want you, over the next week, I've got some homework for you. I want you to tell me, I'll give you my details, and I'm going to support you to shift this at least for a month, just you and me, because this is really, really important. So I want you to email me, and we'll find a way to speak, and you're going to tell me what practices you're going to invent, and I'll help you to invent those practices. And then I'm going to help you to put a support system in your life over the next 4 weeks that will be so robust, and you'll start to develop that habit. Now, it's not all over. As Gurudev said, I'll give you my hand, but you have to walk. So it's not, I'm not going to, you're more than capable. You've got the friends, but maybe just at the beginning, you need a little bit of support to get going. Is it okay if we leave it like that, Prabhu?
Yes, perfect. I'm so sorry. I have to run now.
I'm moving around your flat with you. It's kind of, I was going to say, you're going out the door now. Okay, listen, we'll speak. All the best.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Radhe, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much to everybody who listened and all the amazing realizations. And
super.
There's just so much gold that's being said today. I'm gonna have to, when I hang up, I'll listen to the video later, and because wow, this is powerful.
And I think as my god brothers, friends said just now, you were so courageous to ask for it. So you have asked for support already. It takes courage to do this. You know, we don't know each other. You're on Zoom. It's not even that we're talking, but you've done it so beautifully, Prabhu. So all the best, and we speak soon.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Radhe, everybody.
Jai.
Very well.
I think
I just wanna-
Vishnupriya, how are you doing?
I just wanted to
Tarun,
quickly say as well, Dilip, that I would also be really interested in communicating after the session and working together, or whatever it takes.
Great. Who's speaking? Because remember, I told you at the beginning, my computer's coming soon, but I've got 4 people in front of me. Who's
Hare
speaking
Krishna,
now?
Hare Krishna Das.
I'd be so happy to speak with you, of course. Of course.
Okay, Hare Bol.
I'll make sure that connection happens.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're going to go on to our next person, our next devotee.
Before we do that, do we want to let Brajanath Prabhu just add something quick?
I think we're really short on time, and I want to make sure that Kamala has enough time to express herself. And I think, and also because Vishwarup has left as well, I think maybe we'll save Brajanath to respond to what Kamala will say. So yeah, we're gonna hand over to Kamala from Canada, who always teaches me by example to live from the heart, not so much the head. And I know I live from the head so much, but like I really appreciate her heartfelt expression. So yeah, I'm sure she'll express her heart again now. So I'm going to hand over to her.
Dhanavat pranams to all the devotees. Thank you so much. I literally have goosebumps from this session. It's amazing. All the beautiful advice on this path of creating harmony in our lives. It's just so amazing. So for me, harmony, I've had a lot of support in my life, especially from like my parents and close friends and senior devotees in my life. So on one sense, I feel very confident in a material aspect of myself. In terms of spiritual life, not so much. I find that being raised in a Hare Krishna family, there's a lot of like very advanced topics that are taught, like a lot of like high stuff. So what I'm finding in myself at this point in my life is I really need to relearn the very, very basics, the foundations, and question like, why am I doing this? Like, what is it that I actually believe in? And so I've been doing some soul searching and trying to like dive into like, well, we're being told that mantra is so powerful, but why is it so powerful? To really dive into like the nitty gritty, very, very basic beginners. So if a stranger asks me, I can like try and express it in a way that they can understand. And I want to like be firm in a belief of my belief, if that makes sense, to really yeah. So for me, my spiritual life, like I'm really trying to find the harmony in that, and that's like going back to the foundations, and also just dealing with like a little self-doubt in my ability to create a connection, with such a beautiful personality like Srila Gurudev, and even think of like having a relationship with God is like just like totally out of my comfort zone, and just like it's such a concept that I can't even wrap my head around. And then also like struggling with the idea as a disservice to myself, like a disservice to myself and the Guru Varga and like other Vaishnavas for not being able to help other people without like working on myself first and really firmly believing why I am following the path of bhakti. And so a part of me is like, oh, I should be out there helping as many people as possible, but like I have to come in terms of being very strong in my faith on my beliefs. And then what I struggle with a lot is the discipline and actually following through. Like I listen to a lot of like self-help podcasts, mental health, like really diving in that world. But then the follow through, like the determination, the discipline, struggling with like being like lazy in that spiritual aspect. Like for me, materially, I got it together. I like, if I'm given a task, I can push through it. But with spiritual life, it's like, it's a struggle for sure. And like, I really like what Vishwarup was talking about, like the habits can cause disharmony and like trying to like break those bad habits. So yeah, just trying to like find out what is, why bhakti is important to me, and trying to create a relationship. And I really appreciate these Zoom meetings because it really resonates with me, and it gives me the energy now, but after this is done, after like I have to go back to work and I have to like immerse myself back in material life, like I know I'm just gonna go back and struggle and, you know, just kind of like fall off the bandwagon again. So how can I like create or become inspired to create a discipline with going back to the foundation of why we're practicing bhakti, and really understand like what is mantra, what is guru, for like even like a child can understand, because that's where I feel like that's where I have to really cement my faith so that I can help others.
Yeah, well said. Beautiful. So nice speaking with you and hearing you. I get so much to say. And if you were to encapsulate the challenge, and there's so many different aspects to it, which you kind of just did, what do you think is at the root of it all? If you went one level down, what would you say is really holding you back? Because you're just, get a sense of you. I've heard you participate. You're a dynamic person. You're a very sweet, open-hearted person. You've got all these qualities. What do you think is the root cause of you not having discipline? Because you've mentioned mantra and getting to understand, that's very valuable. We'll come back to that. But what do you think is at the root cause of you not following through on your, what you know is great?
I think a big part, like I don't live with my family, and especially with COVID, like I am in a very small community, like no temples, like hardly any devotees. And like my partner, even though he's like a vegetarian and he's like kind of slightly open-minded, I don't have like that extra support in my life at present, which for me is really, really hard. So like I have like zero spiritual strength. So trying to dig deep through all of this, all of my bad habits and stuff, to try and even like you know, get up in the morning and like wake up early and pick up the beads rather than pick up my cell phone is a struggle, because the family, like I live with his family, and like they're not devotional by any means. They're open-minded, like I can like say some things to like a certain level, but it's like we don't have that connection. I don't have that energy to like feed off. So in a sense, it's like I'm really struggling with that aspect, which then makes me not have the discipline and not have that strength. Like even just like making that conscious decision, okay, I'm gonna, you know, not spend, you know, 3 hours on social media on my spare time, and instead try and listen to like some Hari Katha, or you know, some kind of topics in like a higher mode to just like kind of balance it out. So yeah, I think the root of it is just not having like the physical presence of someone who can be supportive. But I don't know in a sense that if that's the number one thing. Like I'm really finding even these Zoom really supportive too. But yeah, just creating.
But in your daily life, it's not there. The Zooms are great. It's every 2 weeks, and I've heard your appreciation for that. I can, same for me. But it's like the daily support when you've got wonderful people around you but are not devotionally inclined. And Maya, she's so strong, you know, as Yashashwini keeps reminding me, and my friends as well, you know. So I think it's amazing you're doing what you're doing. You've got wonderful energy, great values, and there's such an eagerness to break through this. And today's about not having all the answers, but part of it is what I learned from Gurudev is association, and then alongside that is support. And one of the things I know Brajanath wants to do, and also Lalita and other people on this call, and Yashodananda, is to create real support for each other.
Right.
But maybe for a while, not even maybe, but a real strong sense of support on a daily basis, that you can pick up the phone and get support from someone that really is your well-wisher, cares about you deeply, and you for them. And that sounds to me like a practical thing that would really be of benefit. And, you know, having those conversations and connecting with those people, there may be people on this call that would love to communicate with you, who don't have support either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would bet that at least one person on this call would love to support you and get support from you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be so surprised if that weren't the case. Would you be open to that?
Oh yeah, totally. I'm like, for me, my job is very much like on the computer, like designing, social media, all that stuff. So most of my time, if anyone wants to reach out, I'm on social media, on Instagram, please reach out or give me an email. Yeah, I want to make these connections because I like just associating with devotees. Like I've met Srila Gurudev back in like Badger and when I was like a really young kid, and having that energy in my life at that time was amazing. And just like being so far removed from devotees and the Vaishnavas for so long, I feel like I've kind of like I know what that is, and I'm craving that like desperately, but to actually like fight for it and like have that determination to get it.
Okay, there are people on this call that I know would love to support you and you support them, and I would just I'll let you figure that out. If you need any help with that, ask me, ask Tarun Prabhu. You might want to do it discreetly so that you can not just speak to somebody randomly if you don't want that, although, you know, we're a family of friends. But just know that there's people on this call right on your doorstep, even though you're miles away, that would so benefit, you know, a really strong, robust support in your bhakti and in your everyday life so that you can move away from those habits. Now, time-wise, there's a couple of people who like would love, I knew that would be the case. It's not hard. So you showed Nanda wants to say something. And then who's man, is this Tarun or Vishnu Priya? If you take over, and I'll just step back for a bit, please.
Yeah.
Dandavat, can you hear me?
Go for it. Yeah, we can hear you.
Kamala, you're totally awesome. I've already had some beautiful dealings with you. I think the key for someone with your nature and your aptitude and your the concerns and the needs you have is, I would echo what Dilip said in terms of support, but I think the support is best coming in the guise of seva. Because everybody who I serve with in seva, we're all supporting each other all the time. It's not just, have you done this? Have you done that? Can you do this? Have I done this? It's not that at all. It's that, but it's also, how are you? And it's also lots of conversations where we're not even talking about seva, we're just talking about our lives. And there's a lot of support and nourishment that comes naturally from seva if you're serving in the right groups. I mean, you can serve where it's all kind of impersonal and it's all about the seva and there's no jiva to jiva relationship. But I feel that in Gurudev Sangha and in the seva that we're doing, every program I'm lucky enough to be involved in, there's such a lot of nourishment going on spontaneously around the seva, because the seva itself can sometimes be challenging. Sometimes it means we don't get enough sleep. Sometimes it can be stressful. Sometimes we're having to do things we don't know how to do. Sometimes things, there's so many issues that come up that trigger things in ourselves. And if you partake in seva in one of these groups, putting on any of these events, it's open, whether it's holistic bhakti, whether it's Gurudev's glories we do every Sunday, whether it's Mercy Grace Leela, whether it's another event we haven't even designed yet, which we're thinking about, whether it's, we're even thinking of a 108-hour Zoomathon. I mean, we're crazy. There's so much seva someone of you could get involved in to whatever degree you want to. And in that framework of seva, the loving relationships naturally flow, and you will get the emotional and spiritual nourishment as well as the seva that gives you the Sukriti. So that would be my invitation. Tangible, it's real, and it can happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Do we have anyone else who wants to add? Anyone else from the panel? I can see Brajanath is putting up his hand. Yes, Brajanath.
I wanted to share a little bit from the previous speaker, Raga, that was Vishwaru Prabhu. And also Kamala, thank you so much for being there. It's the first time I heard a lot about you, how you are really sincerely trying, to become happy in Krishna consciousness. This is really what we want, all of us. And Yasoda Prabhu, it is such a great gift to have that opportunity to serve with each other. And this, what we are doing now, is like a golden opportunity to serve. And what is the meaning of that? All these things we are now able to discuss in a holistic way and become more and more integrated with the essence of bhakti. That is to open up and share what is honestly, our happiness in bhakti, and also our challenges, our obstacles. So I can only say that when we have problems, then Vaishnavas become very happy. Why? I tell you the thing what I experienced with Srila Gurudev, and I don't know how much time we have still, but we are in Europe, we're already 11 o'clock, so we are we are very happy to be with all of you. But Gurudev, he said that if someone has a lot of problems, then of course we cannot imitate ourselves with Gurudev, but then the devotee who is happy and inspired to deliver the good news, who is in harmony with herself or with himself within, who is deeply connected with Guru and Krishna and Harinam, they become so happy because now there is an opportunity to prove that the process is working. Gurudev said, I am so happy when someone comes to me and says, oh, Gurudev, I have no taste for chanting. I cannot get up in the morning. I fall asleep when I pick up my beads. Then I have so many material desires, and bad habits. Then Gurudev said, oh, I want to help you. Now I can prove that this process is working. Now I can really do that which my heart is designing for, to give you that happiness which you are longing for. And when someone would come to Gurudev and say, Gurudev, please accept me as your disciple. And then Gurudev said, what are your qualifications? Oh, I chant 16 rounds every day. I follow the 4 regulative principles. I study the books 2 hours a day. And Gurudev would say, oh, I cannot help you. You have to help others. In other words, really, we are here to help each other. And it is so nice to be with senior devotees who are willing to reach out to us and help us and encourage us. And I can only applaud this beautiful attempt. And I'm sure that if we look in a year from now where we were now and where we are then, I'm confident that we will see like a tremendous improvement and a more joyful and harmonious family of devotees. Okay, I just wanted to share that, Kamala. I'm very happy to hear.
Thank you. I think, I'm just like, I'm trying to absorb this and really hold on to it. And then one realization I had is just learning patience and like when the time is right, the flower will bloom. Like the flower doesn't bloom prematurely. So just having faith in the process, trying to cultivate patience, and
Very nice.
Thank
you. Dilip, Dilip Prabhu, do you have something that you wanted to add?
No, I just want to come back to Kamala and just say thank you so much again. And see, I think we've got a pathway forward. I just want to check that with you, Kamala. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. You know,
Thank
we keep thanking you. Yeah, we keep thanking you because for everyone that's talking, because it's a big deal, you know. Maybe not for you, maybe it is, but it's so wonderful. that you do, speak your heart, you know, have the courage to speak about things that are not working so well. It's the only way we can get real support. And, you know, I think it takes a great deal of courage. And it creates space, and then we can go, you know, I don't have to be so perfect. I've got support here. So I really appreciate you for speaking that way. And I wish you well, and let us know. We look forward to hearing results through these Zoom Bhakti. You know, we want to update each other as well. I think that's the way that we can support each other. We can elevate that to go, look, this is what I need. Can you help me with this? And really use this community that the team has set up so beautifully to really take it to the next level. It's naturally evolving that way anyway. So if I know that you're getting support, you're on a good track, that's so wonderful. Because that's the purpose of this, is that we all feel nourished, supported, but this is a place where we can be ourselves. You know, I was asking Tarun Prabhu what was the, you know, what was the outcome he wanted, and I'll let you share that in a moment, Prabhu, but I was very touched, and that's what motivated me even further to be part of this. Tarun Prabhu, if you could just share that now, so it doesn't get rushed to the end. Kamaladin, thank you so much again. And Tarun Prabhu, go back to you and tell us what your, and you and Vishnupriya and Yashodananda, you know, what is this for? What is the experience you want to give people? It's so obvious to me, but when you said it to me yesterday, I was so touched. So if you could just share that, that would be so nice.
Okay, if you want me to, I can't refuse.
I do.
You asked me yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or the day before. I can't remember, all the days are coming together. Sorry, I'm just trying to recollect my thoughts. You asked me at the end of this session, the session that we're having today, what do you want people to walk away with? And I said, I actually wrote it down. You said, what experience will people have at the end of the program? How will they feel? What will they be thinking? I thought, firstly, I had to thank you for asking that question, because I thought it was a really considerate question to ask. My answer, although this wouldn't be a complete answer, I wanted people to really get a sense that we are all one family and that we're all here together to support one another. That was my answer, because throughout our discussions, and Dilip and I had Dilip Prabhu and I had like quite a few discussions so that we could make the logistics of tonight's call work. He kept referring to this as your home or our home, and it really made me realize this is all our home. Like wherever the devotees go, they make a house a home. They really do. And I feel like Yashoda has purified the ether with all his Zoom hosting. And I feel like here, though, we really have a chance to connect with one another. And I think I'm feeling in my heart, I don't want to like prematurely like throw it out there. I'm feeling that perhaps something after tonight is going to happen. We've got to sort out some kind of continuation of this format that provides this support, because I think it's been resonating with so many people. I'm getting personal messages with people saying, wow, like so and so really shared their heart, and I felt really resonated with that. I really connected with that. So yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, we want you to feel that this is yours, that you belong here and we belong with you. And it's safe. It's comfortable. We're here to support you. You know, the way I get support from Yashodananda Prabhu is just extraordinary. I don't know why he keeps, you know, always supporting me, always.
That's really nice. Thank you for highlighting that. We're coming towards the end of the session, but we had like quite a few questions this week. I feel bad that we're not even going to get to answer all of them. Oh, sorry.
Turn. I've got an idea, totally spontaneous. We do holistic bhakti every 2 weeks, right? And in a moment, I'm going to announce what we're going to do in 2 weeks. But I think we should continue this exact session next week, same time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
My feeling is that there's so much coming from the participants, from the devotees and non-devotees. I don't know who is which, who is who. Doesn't really matter. There's so much coming. I think we've only tapped into a little bit, and I think if we carried on next week, we can, we can play with the format and whatever. But I think there's another holistic bhakti to. I think that would serve the devotees very, very well. That's my thought. Bit spontaneous, I know, for 10 o'clock at night, but
I don't know. I think that's brilliant. I think that's really good.
Oh, sorry, I haven't even asked Dilip and Brajanath. So, Dilip, you remember? If I make a request, could you say yes, please?
You know me by now. Come on, how am I going to say no to that? Of course.
Brajanath?
Yeah, I think I'm ready to go every 2 weeks. Yeah, the rest of my life with all of you guys. Yeah.
No, but I'm saying next week. Next week.
I know that. Oh, next week.
Oh, great.
Yeah. No, every week. Yeah, let's go for it.
Beautiful. Okay, so I think it's a date, right?
This was one of my deep desires, that at least I can continue to develop relationships with the family devotees and go deeper, especially with devotees who are ready to share their heart and want to imbibe that, what is it, that harmony, that we are all, that happiness, that real essential part of our life that we are. Yeah, that is the happiness of Krishna consciousness. Yeah, very beautiful. Yeah, next week let's go for it. Yeah,
next week, same time, same Brajanath, Dilip will work out the format between you and Tarun, Vishnu, Priya, myself, but same subject matter. I think everybody's welcome back, and tell your friends to come as well.
Yeah, and now that our panelists have we've shared the format together, because I would have ideally liked to do this with our panelists beforehand. I apologize for that. I spoke to Bradara yesterday, but I hope that I can also feel that this is not Brajanath, and it's the panel working together. And as we get to know each other, I hope that format could be ours. Because even though not all the panelists have spoken so much, I really feel that's what's brought this to a special place. So please think of it as the panel now, at least for this theme, and then we'll see after a week where we go. I really want to make sure we're all included together. It's a team effort. We're all in it together. So I really want to thank Brajanath Prabhu as well for inviting me to be here. I kept thinking, what am I doing here? I'm not speaking, but Brajanath, thanks for your faith in me, your friendship. Always really appreciate it. And thank you for making me feel so welcome to Vishnu Priya, Tarun Prabhu, Yashodananda Prabhu. Thank you for everyone participating. Is there anything else we need to say before we finish up?
Yeah, one more thing. I would like to hear a few words from Madhuvata Prabhu. He's one of our panel members, and he's...
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I would love that too.
He's a beautiful devotee, and Madhu, please share a few words with us, and then
I'll share my words next week then, because we've run out of time.
Actually, before we, sorry, Madhuvata, do you want to say something?
What just came to my mind at the end there is that there seemed to be a common theme of devotees having obstacles, or not devotees, or people have obstacles. And what was very inspirational for me was, and still is, obviously, is this Madhurya Kadambini, this book by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, because I was amazed to read that and find that the exact problems that I have and the obstacles, such as I can't wake up, I sleep when I'm chanting Harinam, I keep thinking I want to be married, I want to be renounced. This is called unsteady bhakti, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he was talking about this, in the 18th century. So this is not it's not 20th century, 21st century problem that only we have. It's something that is actually a stage of bhakti. It's part of the process, and therefore not to become despondent and not to beat yourself up and feel guilty and think that I'm a terrible person. It's actually part of the process of going forward in bhakti. We go through this stage. It's called Anishta Bhajana Kriya. So I found that very encouraging that this was written about, so long ago, and it's still the same. It's the human condition. And the other thing I'd like to say is just that I have all of these things that everyone's spoken about, even though I'm so-called panelist. I have all of these exactly the same: doubt, sleep, inability to be disciplined. All of these things I still have, so much. And so it was very useful for me to hear all of the devotees speaking about that. So anyway, thank you for involving us, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful, Madhu. And Lalita, you
see you, Brajanath, and all devotees.
Lalita, we want to hear one word from you.
Oh, I just found it very inspiring to listen to everybody and hear them be so open-hearted. And yeah, if I can be, I really feel I can't be any support to anybody, but if I can, I'm here for anybody.
Beautiful. Lalita is very generous, and she loves to help. She overflows.
And an extraordinary person that can coach people and support them in all these challenges really, really expertly. So I've learned so much from Lalita. Extraordinary. But as always, very modest, and I appreciate why as well. But I hope that that you do take her up on that, because it would be so wonderful if you could also support us in that way, Lalita. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lalita. They are supporting me. Lalita Budara, Dilip, all of you, Yasoda. Thank you all for being there today. And we are. I'm just thrilled. I didn't expect this. Yasoda, thank you for the spontaneity, for the invitation for next week. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to you, Brajanath Prabhu, for giving us your time, your energy, and also for being so encouraging and supportive. I want to say all of the support of all of the senior devotees has been instrumental in sort of everything that I've done, in the whole of my Krishna consciousness. Like anything I have achieved has kind of, if I have achieved anything, has come from the support of senior devotees who are always willing to give time, energy, love, and all of these things. And I'm just realizing more and more how valuable this association is. So I want to thank you all of the panelist members, and especially you, Brajanath Prabhu, for speaking this week. Someone's asking what time next week is going to be. I think I'm 99% sure it's going to be the same time, 7:30 p.m. UK time. And we'll post on it on our various groups, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Instagram. And yes, I think we're nearly ready to finish. I want to announce for those in London, we're going on Sankirtan tomorrow. It's at 1 p.m. outside Hackney Town Hall. And if you want more details, please feel free to message me. I'd love to see you there for Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day. And now I'm going to hand it over to Yashodananda Prabhu, who is going to announce what we can expect in 2 weeks' time from Holistic Bhakti. He's going to announce his call or our call tomorrow night for Nityananda Triyodashi, and also hopefully speak some very brief but potent glorification of Sri Nityananda Prabhu.
Thanks, Tarun. Okay, I'm going to make it short. It's 10:12. I think everybody's ready for bed. And everyone put in enormous amounts of speaking and listening time. So very excited. I thought I was going to be introducing the next holistic bhakti, but now we're having one next week. It's actually the next week, the next but one. It's in 2 weeks' time. It's actually by divine will, by Gurudev's mercy, it's actually a beautiful follow-on from this session, because this session is all about harmony and all about trying to be honest with our needs and trying to make the adjustment for harmony. The next session, but one in 2 weeks' time, is about practical meditation. I'm not going to say too much because I want to sort of leave you with a thought, which is, we know from our acharyas, and Brajanath knows this more than most people on the Zoom call, how everything comes from bhajan. Actually, any sustainable depth of service has to come from bhajan. Otherwise, instead of it being a pyramid, it's an inverted pyramid. A pyramid is a very solid structure, service built on bhajan. If you invert it, it's a very unstable structure. This is Seva waiting, perhaps it's not based on bhajan. But a lot of us have trouble with unsteady bhajan. And for the last 4 months, we've assembled a team to try and analyze what is it that's missing in the emphasis of Krishna consciousness outside of India, and what is it that's missing in our bhajan that if we listen closely, we're not adding anything that the acharyas haven't told us. We're trying to listen more deeply to what the acharyas have told us and apply it more deeply. How can we practically apply our bhajan? So instead of it being something that we do every morning, hopefully, it's something we're actually doing throughout the whole day. How do we make that bhajan? How do we make that meditation really practical so it can deliver practical, tangible benefits to our bhakti and thus to our whole lives? So that's what the session is about in 2 weeks' time. We're doing what's called alpha testing, which means if you launch a product gamma, it means it's done. If you launch a product beta, it means it's done, but you're testing it with the audience, with the participants. But alpha is really exciting. We're actually taking the course at a very sort of premature stage, and we're starting to co-create it with a few people who are the users of the product, of the bhajan product, so that we can co-create it with actual devotees who want to use it. So this is really an evolution. It's your chance to participate in something that's going to evolve and become something that will help not only our Sangha, but hopefully other Sanghas. And Gopalji, who's a very dear friend of mine and many people here, Dilip introduced him to me several years ago. He's right in the thick of it in terms of presenting in a couple of weeks. So will Radha, that is Yashodhara's sister. She'll be presenting. They're both co-creating, and the product has been developed by Raghava Pandit, who's got extraordinary insights, by Sundar Gopal in Costa Rica, who's highly intelligent and a beautiful sadhak, and Sripad Bhaktivedanta Tapasvi Maharaj, who's given invaluable input, as well as myself in a Seva team for the last few months. So you are humbly invited to that in 2 weeks' time. I think it's going to be an absolutely sensational session, and it's going to run on beautifully from this one because it's really developing along the same needs, but approaching it from a different angle. So same time, 7:30 in 2 weeks' time. Hare Krishna. I think everyone's thanked everybody so much. There's no more thank yous to be thanked. I thanked everybody at the outset. So thank you to everyone. But thank you most of all to Gurudev. And I'm going to leave you with one quote for Gurudev before we go. And I think this sums up what I want to get out for everybody of this session, which is, he used to say, and I'm going to imitate him probably quite badly, but he said it very beautifully every time. He said, "Don't be hopeless." Don't be hopeless, he said.
Jai Shri Gurudev ki jai.
Ki jai. Hari bol.
Nanda Prabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Guru Parampara ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari
Hari
Bol.
bol.
Hari bol. Yashoda, you forgot one more thing.
The program for tomorrow, Prabhu.
I announced it at the beginning. You want me to announce it again? Okay.
Yes.
Nityananda Trayodashi. We're having an amazing program, 6 hours of pure Nityananda volcanic energy. 5 p.m. UK time to 11 p.m. tomorrow night. We have Srimati Shamarani, Bhagwat Maharaj, Ashram Maharaj, Naimi Maharaj, Avadut Maharaj, Shanta Maharaj, and little old me.
Jai.
Haribo.
I'm the little baby doing a little bit at the end. Hare Krishna.
You are the recipient of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy, Yasoda.
That's for sure. I am.
Haribo.
Dandavat pranams, everyone. Hey, Dilip Prabhu, I would love to do that little thing that you did with everyone, but before me.
Of course, a pleasure. Thank
we
you.
have more time next week.
No, not in front of everyone, though, maybe not.
By the way, very good shout for next week. That was a good call.
You do it right now, Vishnu. There's not that many people.
Yeah, there's only like your people, your pals.
Yeah, there's only 5 of us.
5 of
We ain't
us.
listening. We ain't listening.
We got the nosiest people up in here, Ramananda.
We'll organise that soon, right? We'll have that conversation. Thank you so much for today. Taran Prabhu, Vishnu Priya, thank you. We stop here and we speak very soon.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. You're amazing. You're